Hi folks, it's getting towards the end of summer, late August, the dog days of summer. It's sunny here in Karmiel and very warm. I'm alone today. My wife and family have gone to Latrun. Latrun in Israel is a monument to the determination to create the state of Israel. It is also the tank museum, armored museum for the Israeli army. And my nephew, Dov Bear, has just joined up with the IDF. He hopes to be in the tank corps. We wish him luck. God should protect him and guard him and all of his comrades. It's an important day in his life. The IDF is part of hope. This week's Parsha, ki-tetze, has a very notable and counterintuitive statement from Moses to the people. As he stands on the edge of the Jordan and the people are about to cross over, he tells them, "Do not hate the Egyptians, for they were your hosts. You came to them." Do not hate the Egyptians? We're reminded Pesach constantly in our prayers about the exodus from Egypt, about the suffering, about the slavery, about the murder, about the torture, the humiliation. And yet, Moshe Rabbeinu says at this crucial moment in Jewish history, do not hate the Egyptians. If there was ever a people that we were entitled to hate, one would think it was the Egyptians. Many years ago, I had a machloket, an argument about revenge. I was speaking with a rabbi who said, there's nothing wrong with revenge. We can take revenge. And I said, in my ordination program, smicha ordination, I learned from a great Rav David Shochet, that revenge was forbidden. We had quite an active argument, myself and this fellow, and finally I said, let's have Rav Shochet, who was the judge of the court for Toronto, let's ask Rav Shochet, because maybe I misunderstood him or maybe you got it wrong. So that Sunday I went to see Rav Shochet. The other fellow didn't show up. And I said, did I misunderstand? And he said, yes, we're forbidden to take revenge against a Jew, against a non-Jew, even against an animal. And I said, how can it be? Why would that be? And he said, you don't understand. We're prohibited to take revenge not because of the other fellow, it's because of ourselves. Hatred in our heart eats away at ourselves and destroys our joy, our contentment. And so we're not doing somebody else a favor, although the result may be that way. We're doing ourselves as well as a favor to have a clean slate, to live life to the fullest, to appreciate the good that we're given. I think that's what Moshe was telling the people. He didn't tell them to forget the slavery. He didn't tell them to forget the suffering or the torture or the murder. No, he didn't say that. In fact, we're commanded to remember Mitzrayim, Egypt, and to remember the suffering all the time in all of our prayers. Perhaps our most important family event of the year is not Rosh Hashanah coming up, but actually Pesach. And what is Pesach about? Pesach is about bitter herbs. Pesach is about matzah, unleavened bread. And Pesach is about freedom. Freedom cannot be appreciated without a memory of slavery and bondage. Only someone who has suffered through it can appreciate the freedom that comes after. But you mustn't take with you hatred of the past. You have to live in the present and in the future. Remember the past. Remember the lessons of the past. Remember to be the one who brings freedom to others rather than bondage. But don't take the hatred in your heart. This was the message from Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, I was born at one of the high points of optimism. It was in the years of the defeat of fascism. It was the year when the candle burned brightest of the hope for the redemption of the Jewish people after 2,000 years to have fought for and gotten our land back. You know, it was a time of General Motors, it was a time of big tail fins, Elvis Presley. What can I tell you? Everything seemed rosy. It doesn't seem that way now. There seems to be trouble all around us, dark clouds all around us. But I must say, sitting here in Karmiel, even though it's quite hot and there's the occasional mosquito, even the birds seem to be resting at this time of day. But sitting here in Karmiel, I'm reminded that the theme of this country, not just virtually but literally the theme, the national anthem of Israel, Ha-Tikva, the hope. Israel remains a land of tremendous accomplishment, and yet so much more to do. We've just seen the beginning of it, and the people here work tremendously hard. They're people who have tremendous belief in the miracle of this country, and they know there is much to do. It's a tiny country, but bears responsibility, it would seem, for a large part of the world. And it's not appreciated for that at all. It's so true, you know. But we know what it's about. And we know that the essence of this week's Parsha is not to carry hate, but to carry hope in your heart and to see what the potential is for the future. I just want to take a moment to explain. I've had some technical issues with KosherTube lately. Between my travels and also on top of that, our major computers seem to have developed some very bad viruses, which we're resolving right now. I think by the end of next week, everything will be fine. I ask you to be patient with me. I want to say a special thank you to Adam and to Sam for all the work, as well as Charles and Debbie for all the work they've been doing lately. And I want to thank all of you who are staying by us. We have great tikva, great hope going forward for what's next. Wishing you all well. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much. We're sending you 2 parshas this week because the from last week's parsha did get recorded but really didn't get distributed. So wishing you all well. Shabbat Shalom. We're in the middle of Elul now. We're only weeks away from Rosh Hashanah. It's a time to look inwardly and see what it is we can do to make ourselves, our friends, and our world a better place. Shabbat Shalom from Karmiel, David O, in the shade of a sunny day.